Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Today is Thursday, June 26, 2025, and we have a loaded show for you. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past few podcasts, I've been placing a lot of emphasis on U.S. immigration. It is for a reason because things have changed. So let's dive right into it. In over the past administration, that's the President Joe Biden's um, 4 years of rule as the president of the United States, you have seen that the past administration took immense measures to open to have an open border policy that has allowed millions of people to stream through the borders and come into the United States. Many around the world, millions, have come in and were ushered in under the guidance of the Joe Biden administration. They were given um, accommodations, including great places to stay, monies, food, accommodation, and much more. Billions of dollars were spent on these people, and you had many migrants come from many parts of the world, including Jamaica. Today, we have seen over the last few months that since the election of um, President Donald Trump, he has been tasked by the American people to put us end to this fiasco. Since then, he has signed many executive orders that has angered many that who have come through the border, thinking that they're entitled to the American dream and it's their right. You've seen them riot, burn down cities, created mayhem here in the United States. Many of you across the world join them in putting out social media posts, venting your frustration on this administration. However, President Donald Trump said law and order must prevail. If you want to come to this country, the United States, join the line. You've heard Baltazar Tom Homan. He said, if we won't separate families, we'll just deport everybody. Tens of executive orders have been signed by the now President Donald Trump to bring this fiasco under control. The Supreme Court has weighed in to state that what he's doing is within the ambits of the law. Since then, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen many people here who are not here legally rush to take the deal that they were given to self-deport. Under the guidance of the President of the United States, all the agencies are now falling in line to remove those who are not supposed to be here. It has caused a lot of frenzy, a lot of confusion, and now it gets worse. Ladies and gentlemen, during the course of this show, I'm going to show you a few videos regarding those who came to the border seeking asylum for various reasons. Thousands took the trip, spending millions and billions of dollars to get here. They were given even flights from certain countries to come to the border. However, they have been met now with the full faith and force of the American law. They're faced with another dilemma. They got to go back home. The courts are now fast tracking, removing these asylum seekers from their books. They're ending. It is now being reported from various media houses that they're ending these asylum seekers' quest to take in hand the American dream that they began they when they came here, they came through the in the wrong way, and now they're facing this fast deportation initiative that's going on as we speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up. I've said it over many podcasts, and some may wonder why I'm placing an emphasis on U.S. immigration. It affects citizens of Jamaica, our diaspora, and it affects the foreign policy of the Jamaican government. It affects the foreign policy of many countries. As you can see now, President Trump is using tariffs and other deals, banning certain countries from traveling here based on their behavior. I've said in other podcasts that where one um, conducts themselves in a particular way, in a derogatory way, or does the wrong things, everyone suffers. We're in a prisoner's dilemma, as I said before. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you see that your online presence makes a difference when you're coming here. For those who trash the United States and its government are now facing the consequences of that. They're now being scrutinized. Citizens who have gained their citizenship by misrepresentation or telling lies are now facing those consequences because they were laying low, thinking that they were okay. And that goes for green card holders and also those who possess visitors' visas and many other visas to come here in the United States. They're now being scrutinized in many ways. I'm going to bring to you a video that I want you to listen to from Attorney Mac Bean regarding asylum cases in the courts of the United States. Stand by. Here we go.
CNN is reporting that the Trump administration is planning to end asylum for hundreds of thousands of people and then placing them in fast track deportation. Let's talk about it. They are talking specifically about individuals who entered the United States unlawfully and then they applied for asylum. These asylum cases apparently are the ones that are at USCIS, affirmative asylum filings for individuals at USCIS. This is obviously very concerning, right? Because if you have a case pending at USCIS, an asylum case pending, ordinarily you would obviously have an opportunity to go in for an interview and present your case to the government. Now they're looking for a way to cut your process short and then place you in a fast track expedited removal scenario. I had a consultation just a day ago with someone who has an asylum application pending at USCIS, and out of the blue, he received a notice to appear in immigration court. And now he has to find a way through an attorney, of course, to defend himself and the right to have his asylum case be continued. The scenario that I just discussed with you, this individual entered lawfully with a visa. Things are very serious now with immigration. I'm following all things related.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The courts are now ending asylum claims quickly, and then you're faced with a fast track deportation to your country or to countries wherever the United States deems necessary for you to be held until you're processed. It is very uncomfortable. I'm going to put up another video here um, by Attorney Matt Bean to give you the scope of what's going on regarding these the removal of these asylum cases in the court. So, if you did not see them, then you need to know right now what you need to do. So, I say speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist, because you need to know before you go. The things are heating up, guys. So let's go, and I'll put this up and comment on it afterwards. So here we
Asylum
go.
case has been referred to immigration court. What should I do next? I really hope that you have a good asylum case, because the government has been cutting short asylum folks' due process in immigration court by dismissing the case, dismissing the notice to appear, and all of that. Some immigration judges have been agreeing to the dismissal, and then these people are being arrested right outside of the courtroom. What you should do next is make sure you have a good lawyer who could look at your asylum case in a truthful way and tell you whether it has any merit or not. And you'll have your first master hearing coming up, in which you'll answer some basic questions, and another hearing date will be set. Again, hopefully you have a good asylum case, because if DHS makes an argument about the fact that, oh, there's nothing here, and then that type of courtroom where they're going to say, oh, okay, let's just get this one off the docket, then you will be in trouble. So you really need to lawyer up to look at that case.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, things are taking a turn here. So, therefore, if it is said that approximately, and depending on which media house you listen to or which agency you speak to, some will say 22 million people came through the border. In other media houses, they'll say 100 million. We don't know the numbers. However, one thing is guaranteed is that those who came here through the border, or a large majority of them, has added to the crime statistics. So you have many heinous crimes going on: theft, rape, murder, mayhem, demonstrations that have become destructive. President Donald Trump said we've been invaded, and he was not joking. And it's time to get these people out, especially those who have committed heinous any type of crime. So it is a case where you have some that have committed minor offenses and also misrepresentations, and also have lied to gain immigration benefits here in the United States, in comparison to those who came through the border and committed major crimes. So if your crime is as big as a mustard seed, you suffer the consequences. So everyone is being looked at, even United States citizens, of your conduct. It works against you because it's now time for law and order. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to Attorney Matt Bean in collaboration with another attorney talking about the changes that have happened in a very short time, and what the effects of these changes are, and how quickly things are shifting. So let's go. Here we go. Okay, I lost my video there. So in the meantime, I'll bring that video back up, and hopefully I can find it. I just lost it from my screen, guys. So let's see. I'm gonna bring it up in a couple of seconds. However, as you know, law and order must prevail in this country or any country in the world. So let me go back into my history here, and I'm going to bring that up in a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's get that lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy to be handling this on my own, but I'm doing a great job so far. Goodness gracious me. And I've lost the video. So let's move on to the next video. We'll get back to it if I can find it. However, here we go. I think I've found it, guys. So I'm going to bring it up now. And this is a discussion between Attorney McBean and another attorney discussing the changes that they're experiencing. Here we go.
Hey guys, we're so excited to be back before you. We have
Very exciting show. Again, we're two immigration lawyers here to discuss some major updates with U.S. immigration laws and policies. It seems like everything has changed since the last time that the two of us sat down and spoke about pressing issues that our country is facing. I'm so excited to have with me my guest, attorney Ramsey Cullen. Ramsey, how are you? And welcome back to McBean Immigration TV.
Thank you so much, Latoya. It's so good to be back, and it's unbelievable how much has changed since we last spoke. We were going through the list of things that we can speak today, and we even forgot to include a few items that we have to revisit and include in the list. It's very exciting times, yes, and I'm so glad to be back.
So the last time we spoke was in February, and it was shortly after President Trump took office. And already in the very beginning, there was a laundry list of changes and issues that we addressed. And today, I know that we're trying to keep this one a little shorter, but we still have a lot to get.
Hold on.
You're still purchasing your lenses from your optometrist.
What are you?
Okay, so let's get that off the screen and continue.
Dive right in. The travel ban. Let's talk about the travel ban.
It's one of the things that we were expecting to happen very quickly, but as you know, it didn't happen very quickly. It happened very late, actually. And it didn't happen with as many countries as we were thinking that it was going to happen. It's, I think, 12 countries that are really banned, and then 7 countries with some restrictions. And I just read something in AILA, Immigration Lawyers Association website, that Trump may be adding more to those countries right now. So what do you think about that?
It's awful. And I reported out on the expansion, the soon to be 36 countries, right, are on some expanded lists. And many of them are African countries. I believe 25 out of the 36 are African countries, including countries like Nigeria, Cameroon, and some other countries. And even some Caribbean countries are part of this new list, although we don't fully know the extent of what the suspension will actually look like. We do know, based on a memo that Secretary of State Marco Rubio signed, indicating that these countries will have 60 days by which to address some new benchmarks that the State Department is placing on them in terms of how they are vetting applicants for a visa and their visa overstay rate and some other security concerns that the State Department cited. But here's what I found interesting. I found it interesting
that the State Department has also said, well, if you guys will agree to do a third country agreement with the United States to accept folks who we're trying to deport, but their country will not take them back, if you guys will allow us to have that kind of agreement with you so that we could send some of these foreigners or deportees to your country, we'll take you off this travel ban list. I was shocked by that.
Seems like bargaining. It's not like we didn't have these checks and security clearances before. We had it, but this administration thinks that there needs to be more check. But then they go out and say something like this. It's almost as if they're negotiating everything. That's what it feels like.
Absolutely. I mean, everything is up for negotiation, apparently, with this administration. But at the end of the day, the way that I view this, we're talking about people's lives here, right? Should they be used in this manner as some sort of bargaining chip? I think it's really disgraceful and a little quite upsetting, I should say. But we'll see how things will play out with
I totally disagree with Attorney Matt Bean here. In terms of it would appear that she's saying they're entitled to be here when they took the decision to come here and come and cut the line of many of them. Sorry, and I'm not going to put everybody into one nutshell, but I would disagree with this because those who came through the border and came in an underhanded way, cutting the line of legal immigration, they knew what they were up against, and they knew that the consequences of their action, that it could go either way because they cut the line. Also, those who are here and knowingly misrepresented themselves or told a lie, or they had no real good reason for all of the above, they knew the consequences as well. So others have genuine causes to be here. However, there is a process that you have to follow, and the United States has laws and processes and courts. So if you get to the courts and you lose your case, you know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So the president has to be making arrangements for those who their countries do not want them back. Where they're going to go, because they can't stay in the United States, so they have to put them somewhere. So these countries that are on travel bans, they have an opportunity to make amends with the United States by agreeing to certain conditions. And one of the condition is accepting some of these migrants or illegal immigrants or undocumented people, or those who are on deportation, or for whatever reason they need to remove them for. If they accept them in their country and hold them there, then it works in those countries' favor. So let's continue to listen about these travel bans.
Expanded 36 countries to the travel ban list. Are any of your clients impacted by the travel ban that's already in place?
Not really. I have a few clients from Turkmenistan that are really feeling the pressure right now. However, not really. I mean, we're advising them not to travel if it's not necessary. So I didn't have any problems yet. How about yours?
A lot of what we're seeing has to do more so with the fears of either leaving the United States as a green card holder or even as a U.S. citizen and traveling to one of the travel ban countries, and less so on the side of someone in one of these countries trying to get in. It has been pretty quiet on that side of things, but it is, it's still early, certainly.
It is very early, yes. The thing that I don't like about it is it's very unpredictable, and it puts a lot of fear in people, and they can travel, but they don't want to travel because of this fear when they can actually travel. So I was at a networking meeting the other day, and the other attorneys asked me how my days were going the last 6 months. And I said, I think I'm being a psychologist more than a lawyer. because
Right.
that's
I've seen a similar instance. A lot of people are calling me to consult with me to find out what is going on. So you have to be taming down their fears in terms of if you know you're okay, you came here legally, got your green card, you got your citizenship. There's nothing to worry about because that has nothing has changed really in that respect. More we say not just a very few things have changed, not that nothing has changed. The thing is that everyone is being scrutinized a lot more. So if you have you've been granted your stay here by getting your citizenship, your green card, or you're visiting the country, take care. Those who are visiting and on visitors visas or various visas that are temporary, you got to look at your social media, and I've been emphasizing that for some time now because your opinions online matters a whole lot right now. So let's continue to listen, guys. Here we go.
what we need to do to talk to clients and calm them down and tell them that, especially for ones in the business world, that things are still going okay, but it's hard to make people believe nowadays because all they see in the news and the social media are bad things.
Exactly. And speaking of bad things that people are seeing, let's talk about ICE, right? Because you can't go on TikTok, you can't go on YouTube, you can't go on Instagram, you can't go on any form of social media without seeing an ICE video, right? A video of ICE either on the street, breaking into someone's car, or maybe at a farm or gas station or car wash. Recently, I saw a video of them running some of the workers down. It's been so widespread and really quite disturbing what we're seeing with ICE enforcement.
Yes, I was at a hearing in Newark, New Jersey on Tuesday. And as I was expecting to be called out, I saw some ICE agents. I think I saw 3 of them running around with a list of people, and they were going to the court offices and they were asking about these names. Did they show up? I didn't like what I saw. It didn't feel safe at all. And these people, mind you, are in their proceedings. They're
Right.
in court.
Right.
They represent their rights. They have a lawyer sometimes. Sometimes they don't have a lawyer, but they are in proceedings. There is no judge order to remove these people. So while this is going on, this legal proceeding is going on, agents show up to remove these people from courtrooms. I haven't seen it before with my eyes, but I saw it on Tuesday in Newark that the ICE agents were actually looking for immigrants who have proceedings at the court to basically arrest them.
It truly is disturbing. And a lot of that is actually happening also in Manhattan at 26 Federal Plaza, where they're showing up and they're just taking people out. The videos that I've seen, now this hasn't happened to any of our clients directly, aside from, actually, let me just take that back, aside from those who showed up at court without an attorney and were arrested, and their loved one contacted us, and we had to quickly do an emergency consultation and get to work immediately to try to locate that individual. We do have a couple of those individuals on our docket, but none of our clients who we have actually brought to court with us or anyone on our docket who had a hearing had actually faced that circumstance quite yet, but it is quite widespread right now in Manhattan. And so for us, we've been doing a lot of requests for WebEx hearing because we know what's going on now. Even those who have been in the country longer than 2 years, according to AILA, could potentially be at risk for such an enforcement activity or action if they had entered with one of those Biden parole programs or CBP-1 Act. They're at risk potentially of having their removal case cut short by the dismissal process and then being arrested, and then, more alarmingly, being placed in expedited removal, fast track deportation, because certainly that's the intention here, is to shift a large number of individuals into this expedited process. So it's really disturbing, and it's shaking some things up at our firm because now we have to, shift things around a little bit to address these urgent needs of folks who are being deprived of their due process rights.
But isn't it better, as far as government resources are concerned, for ICE agents to go out and find out people who are not in proceedings, who are actually roaming around? These people are already brought to justice and they have to see a judge, they have to go through these proceedings. Why don't you go out and find out people who are not in proceedings, who are in jail?
And that is actually happening, guys, because it is a multi-pronged approach where those there's a mandate that the president sent out. 3,000 should be deported. Is it per week, per day, or per month? However, it's a huge number. So you have ICE agents at the courts, they have ICE agents in the communities, they have ICE agents roaming the countryside looking for those who are not supposed to be here. So they know who these people are, and some they don't. However, there it's called a drag. I call it a dragnet, and they're pulling in as much people as possible, checking them out, and then processing them to know whether or not they should be here. So it is not just a single approach; it's a multi-pronged approach that they're taking on to remove these people, and this is going to get more intense as the months and weeks go by. So stand by, continue to listen, guys.
And who have criminal backgrounds.
Frozen in time? Don't take slow for an answer.
Let's get that off the screen and continue this podcast.
I think, to answer that question, my theory is this. They have a 3,000 arrests per day quota that they've got to meet. Whether they're going to meet it from arresting folks on the street or in immigration court, I don't think they care anymore. I think they are just looking at meeting that new quota. And I think that's what's really driving all of this, because like you said, it really doesn't make sense that they would target people who are already in the system going through the process. But again, I think the reason they're doing that is so that they could deport them right away, literally right away, which is really quite disturbing.
So related to that also, we now see that USCIS is sometimes coordinating with ICE to arrest clients during the interview at USCIS building. So what do you think about that? Have you seen any of that, Latoya?
First of all, none of our clients have been arrested, okay? But what I have seen through other attorneys and of course through social media and from USCIS directly, because USCIS has been tweeting about their law enforcement activities, USCIS is actively engaged in looking at applications, looking at denials, past denials, looking at folks' history to determine who has fraud on their record or a criminal issue and whether or not those individuals are going to be coming in for an interview. And if they are coming in for an interview, for some of them, they are actually coordinating with ICE to have them arrested. And USCIS reported out on this just recently. Like interviews involving naturalization applications or even the green card application, they're setting these folks up to be arrested by ICE, which...
And you look at it from I call it the devil in the deep blue, because if you have a hearing or an immigration appointment, you don't want to miss it. However, if there's something adverse in your file, you can be deported. But if you don't turn up and they catch you, then you could be shipped off to a country that is not your own, or you could be held in detention for a very long time until they process you. So you're caught between doing what is right and doing what is wrong. Goodness gracious me. It's not an easy road, I'm telling you. It isn't. So let's continue to listen, guys. Here we go.
I think it's having a chilling effect, right? I mean, if you see something like that going on, it would be reasonable to think, is now the right time for me to move forward with an immigration case, right? I mean, that's what some people have been asking me. And I tell them, if you have a way forward, pursue it cautiously with some good legal help. And certainly if you don't have anything on your record of concern, then absolutely chart ahead, apply for citizenship, do what you've got to do to obtain your lawful status.
I think the preventive lawyering has become more and more important these days. Before you do something, consult with an attorney. Whereas you do something, you have a problem, and then you go to attorney. Those days are over. You need to take it very seriously. Talk with an attorney. Don't think that just because it happened to your friend, it can happen to you. Things may have different results. Everybody's case is different. So if you have something like that, you need to talk with an attorney even before applying for anything. What we were concerned about was, I have no clients who were arrested by ICE in USCIS interviews. We were concerned about a client who we didn't know had a criminal background. And then he disclosed it after we filed the case, actually, when they called him for an interview. The case filed by his US citizen son. So, I mean, those usually are granted interview waivers and there's no interview. So we were like, why is this guy getting an interview? And then we realized, oh, there's these few things that I mentioned you. And then it turns out this person has a criminal background in his home country. And he shouldn't mention it because few of them he was acquitted, few of them are still pending, like 6, 7 different things, right?
Whoa, that's a list.
So we were concerned that he would be arrested during the interview. So he wasn't arrested. And I checked with local AILA counsel on whether if there is any arrest that they know in the local USCIS office during the interviews. They said no, we haven't heard anything. So this is not an immigration violation again. I mean, if it's an immigration violation, USCIS already knows about it, maybe ICE knows about it, but this is there's no immigration violation, there's just criminal background in client's history. So I just want to say I saw a few cases like that and the clients were not arrested. That doesn't mean they're not going to be arrested, but that's the current situation we have right now.
And certainly for us, you know, like you, we work on complex immigration cases involving people who have a criminal record. And for some others, they have fraud and misrepresentation and other inadmissibility problems on their record, which is why they need an attorney. And we haven't seen a move of adverse findings, so to speak, or determinations in a very widespread way. But what we have been seeing, though, is folks who are going through removal of conditions process, the I-751. Actually, that's the one group of individuals where we are seeing some USCIS action. We've been getting calls from some clients who are saying that they've received an NTA, a notice to appear in immigration court. And for some of them, it's because their I-751 case was filed late. They came to us after they went out of status and their case had to be filed late, and then they got back in status. Vast majority of our clients, they're still going through their 751 removal of conditions process. They're being interviewed and they're getting their approval for their 10-year green card and all as well. But we have seen a few people be NTA'd because at one point or another, before coming to us, they went out of status. Have you been seeing anything like that with the removal conditions cases?
Because I don't think I'm doing those complex cases like you do, where people have criminal backgrounds or immigration violations in the past. You know, my cases are more like on the business side. But I've seen an interesting case where the U.S. citizen spouse filed for an I-130 485, then decided that she doesn't want to go with the application because they broke up, and she withdrew the I-130 and he withdrew the I-5, and instead of closing the case, USCIS issued an NTA.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that before. You know, like if you withdraw an I-485, then they close the case and they leave you with it, and it's whatever your status is. But this time there was an NTA, and I think it has to do with this administration's approach to withdrawn 485.
And the last time we met, actually, in February, we talked about that new NTA policy, the fact that once USCIS denies a case, if they find fraud or criminal history or something adverse, they will place that individual in removal. And at the time, I think the both of us expressed a little bit of skepticism in terms of how they're actually going to carry this out. Now, actually, it sounds like they are carrying this out, even in cases that do not involve a criminal record or even in fraud, but it's just a flat out denial. You know, one interesting thing that we've seen recently involves a woman whose I-485 was denied back in 2019, and she hadn't done anything else with immigration since then. And then out of the blue, just about a month or two ago, she gets a notice to appear in immigration court, just out of the blue. We didn't work on her green card case. She thought, okay, they denied me, I don't have a way forward, so she just didn't do anything else. And then out of the blue, they sent her a notice to appear, and then she contacted us for the first time to help her. So USCIS, I think they're starting to look back on some of those older cases, and they're issuing these NTAs. Although USCIS is doing a lot of weird things these days, they're actually doing some things right, because I don't know if you're also seeing this, Ramsey, but we're starting to see some very, very fast approvals for naturalization and even marriage green card cases really fast. You as well?
Yes, definitely. I've seen a few naturalization approvals within 3 to 4 months. I've seen a few marriage cases which got approved or got an interview within 2 to 4 months. This is quite surprising, actually, because it's against, I think, anything we said.
I think someday
For traveling and commuting, there's no other bag.
Okay, guys. So we're going to wrap it up soon. So let's continue.
that things will take a very long time, but then I'm starting to really see these fast approvals come in, and it's nice to have, but it's just mind blowing, right?
You know what it is? I think it's also very unpredictable. For example, when you file a case and when you think that you're going to have 8 months to get an interview or an RFE or an approval, you instruct the client in a certain way. In the next 8 months, do this, do that, continue doing this, etc. And then all of a sudden you get an interview within 2 months. And then the client goes, didn't you say we were going to do it?
And that is
So even though there's a lot of stuff negative, there's a lot of positives to the immigration landscape here in the United States. So legal immigration is working, and as usual, and there's nothing to fear there once everything is okay with you. But I'm gonna give you some tips. There's a few things that you need to know before the end of July. There's a lot of changes that have been made that you have to be aware of. So if you are seeking an immigration benefit, you need to listen to this one, guys, because it is amazing. So let me bring that to my screen, and then after that, I'm going to go into the VVIP Club announcements, and then we're going to close the show after that. So let's see. I'm going to give you the tips, and here I'm going to bring that on screen in a second. And here we go. So let's go to it, guys. Here we go.
Before August hits, these 10 USCIS changes could impact your case. From new interview tactics to social media vetting, and from silent denials to harsher enforcement. Whether you're applying for a green card, renewing a work permit, or just trying to stay safe while traveling, this video could save your case. Let's break down the 10 USCIS changes that went into effect in July, and what you need to know before August 2025 begins. 1. USCIS adds new questions to marriage interviews. Marriage-based interviews are getting tougher and longer. Since mid-July, immigration attorneys have reported that officers are asking intent-based questions that go beyond timelines or proof of cohabitation, attesting couples on future plans, financial habits, and social media cross-checks, referring more cases for second interviews, Stokes interviews than ever before. If your interview is coming up in August or September, start prepping with a mock interview. USCIS is now trained to look for fraud indicators, even in valid marriages, especially if the couple married soon after meeting. 2. Social media checks are now fully active. This is no longer a pilot program. As of July 2025, the U.S. State Department and USCIS are jointly enforcing a mandatory review of social media accounts for AF, J, and visa applicants, students/scholars. Certain H-1B and L-1 cases flagged for national security review, adjustment of status applicants under investigation. Officers are instructed to look for anti-American posts, engagement with banned accounts, signs of hostile intent or subversive ideology, According to the June 18th internal cable that leaked to the press, refusing to disclose your social media or making it private may now be used as evidence against you. 3. Form I-693 medicals must be submitted with your I-485. Starting July 1st, USCIS quietly began denying adjustment of status applications that don't include the completed I-693 medical form. Here's the change. Before, you had a 60-day window to submit it later after RFE. Now, there's no grace period. If your I-693 isn't in the initial submission, your case could be rejected entirely. Pro tip: always get your medicals signed by a USCIS-approved civil surgeon within 60 days of filing your I-485. 4. Work permits are now issued for just 6 months in many cases. Did you apply for an EAD recently? If yes, check the validity. Many categories are now getting 6-month approvals instead of 1 to 2 years. Applies to pending asylum cases, spousal green card applicants, DACA renewals in some states. This change was hinted at earlier in the year, but now it's actively being implemented in certain field offices. You'll need to renew more frequently, increasing the cost and stress for applicants. 5. Auto denials are up, even for tiny mistakes. 1 extra mark, 1 old form, 1 missing signature, and you're out. Since June 10th, USCIS has dramatically increased the rate of auto denials for submitting outdated versions of forms, omitting a single required document, leaving signature lines blank, even for interpreters. Attorneys are calling this a return to the zero-tolerance filing rule of the early Trump years. No RF, no warning, just a denial. 6. More denied cases are being referred to ICE. This is one of the most worrying developments. In late June, DHS issued a revised referral memo that instructs USCIS officers to notify ICE in the following cases: denied asylum, denied adjustment of status for overstays, a visa fraud or prior unlawful entry. In July, immigration law firms started seeing a sharp spike in ICE letters sent after a denial. This doesn't mean deportation is automatic, but it does mean risk. If your case is complicated, get legal advice before August. 7. USCIS is monitoring social media for hostile attitudes. Separate from the visa vetting rule mentioned earlier, USCIS now has a new protocol to flag posts from permanent residents, visa holders under monitoring, adjustment applicants under review. Here's what's dangerous.
I want you to listen carefully, guys. This is your social media presence and your internet presence that makes the difference. Listen carefully.
Satirical content or memes can be misinterpreted. Likes and follows are now being analyzed. Anti-government views may be categorized as subversive. Think of this like online behavior surveillance. One immigration officer anonymously said, "We're not judging politics, we're flagging risk." 8. More green card approvals via cancellation of removal, 42B. Not all changes are bad. As courts become overwhelmed, some immigration judges are more open to granting green cards under the 10-year rule called cancellation of removal, 42B. Who qualifies? Lived in the U.S. 10+ years continuously. Have U.S. citizen or LPR children, spouse, or parents. Can show exceptional and extremely unusual hardship. Have a clean criminal record. In July, legal aid groups in California and New Jersey reported a notable uptick in successful 42B decisions. It's still hard to qualify, but if you do, don't miss this window. 9. Green card holders must carry ID at all times, being enforced. This rule isn't new, but it is now being used more aggressively. Under 8 U.S.C. Section 1304(e), every alien 18 years of age and older shall at all times carry with him and have in his personal possession any certificate of alien registration. That includes your green card, Form I-551. Failure to comply equals misdemeanor plus possible IC detention. In July, several LPRs were stopped near state borders and held until someone could bring their card. If you don't want to carry your physical green card, at least carry a clear copy or USCIS issued digital proof, just in case. 10. July Visa Bulletin. Surprises in family and employment categories. The July 2025 Visa Bulletin brought mixed news. Family-based F2A. Still current for most regions, but slow processing continues. Spouses and minor children of green card holders still seeing 10 to 14-month waits. F4, siblings of U.S. citizens. Barely moved. Some regions regressed a few weeks. Employment-based EB3. India saw a retrogression by over 7 months. EB2 and EB1 mostly stagnant, with no big forward movement expected until Q4. Final thoughts. July was a turning point. This month, we saw the Trump administration's immigration priorities accelerate, but in quiet, technical, and tactical ways. More denials without notice. More personal information under review. More IC overlap with USCIS cases. Yet also, more chances for long-term immigrants to get green cards under 42B. The system is rewarding preparedness and precision, and punishing even small errors or vague answers. So what should you do before August 1st? Double-check your forms and documents. Talk to a licensed immigration attorney if you're unsure. Clean up your digital footprint. Avoid political content on public accounts. Be ready to prove ties to the U.S., especially if you're traveling. Stay informed. Things are moving, and you don't want to be left behind. If this video helped you, hit like and share it with.
Okay, guys, so you heard it. This comes to the end of the immigration segment. I tell you. So you've heard it. This is Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. And we say welcome to everyone. If you're just joining in, remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. We've been talking about immigration issues, and this will continue as things progress. Things have changed in a way that you've never seen before, and this is the new era of the Trump administration, and he's just only beginning. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in that category, seek an attorney, seek an immigration specialist. As you heard before, that things can change dramatically for you if you make mistakes, if you use the wrong form, if you are misinformed, and all that good stuff. If you have a criminal history, or you have history of things that are adverse to the United States government, especially in your online presence, then you need to speak to an attorney or an immigration specialist to know what your options are. Leave nothing to chance, because now things have changed, and change forever. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is, as I said, the end of this segment, and we're going to move into the VVIP Club to explain how that works. We're going to touch on a few topics, and also highlight a few events in South Central Jamaica. And these people that I'm going to be talking about are a part of the VVIP Club. Now, how did they get involved with the VVIP Club? You need to know. You got to visit the Mystic Inn, and I'm going to put up a picture of the Mystic Inn in the end. However, let's move on to Lady K. That's Nurse K. She has her what you call K's Mobile Service Health Fair on July 26, 2025 at Agri Plus Farm Store in New Forest District in Manchester. This health fair will be offering free blood pressure checks, free blood sugar checks, free HIV tests, and also doctors will be there doing free back to school medicals. And there's a host of information. It starts at 9 a.m. sharp. You got to be there early at K's Mobile Health Fair Service. This is the health fair that she does every year. And it will be at Agri Plus Farm Store in New Forest District in Manchester, Please be there early. It is wonderful. And Lady K also has Ladies K as nurse. She presents her cookout and friends link up on June 27th, 2025 in at Misha's Right Spot Bar on Sear Main Road in Sear District in Manchester. Also, you can Google or type in Google Maps Misha's Right Spot, and you will find them on the Sear Main Road in Sear District in Manchester. If you need more information about our health fair, you go there and be there early because the food is going to be great and it's going to sell out real quick. We have music by DJ Skibu, one of the top musical Gregors in South Central Jamaica, one of the most decorated. And also, you'll have alongside him the sound called Little Trouble. We have a benevolence. This is a domino tournament and bingo party fundraiser for a great cause. It's in aid of Raymond Barnes medical expenses, and it will be at Junction Building Depot in Junction, St. Elizabeth. And this will be on Saturday, July 26th, and this is going to be a big deal. This is where you go show support for those who are in need. This is a great cause, and I'm asking you to turn out there and show your support. This is in aid of Raymond Barnes medical expenses. So Saturday, July 26th, be there and show your support, guys. Also, we were supposed to have Mr. Gavin on the show to talk about Sunday's Fly the Gate Carnival Foam and Water Party. He's overwhelmed. He has a lot of things going on, and I'm still waiting for him to contact me to come on the show to tell you what to expect on Sunday at this wonderful show. We also did a great write-up on it to give you an overview of what you're going to be expecting, because this is going to be one of the biggest carnivals and foam and water party in the island for the summer. A lot of people will be there from across the island and across the globe. It is a big event, and it's coming from a very experienced promoter, and also he's a businessman. This is it's going to be a security event. You have the police close by, and they will be. I'm sure they'll be patrolling around there. There's going to be a lot of things that you can do in the town of Junction. It's one of the fastest growing towns. Check the schedule, and you can do the read up about it. I'm still trying to get a hold of Mr. Gavin to come on the show. He's working hard to get everything ready for Sunday, and as you can imagine, today is Thursday, and we're looking at Friday in a few. Well, is it a few minutes? Yes, in a couple of minutes. So time is running out, and he's getting everything perfect for you. It's going to be a colorful and happy event. And we say big up to Mr. Gavin for Fly the Gate, which will be on that's on Sunday, June 29th. Okay, so he says see you on Sunday. So therefore, we're going to talk about the Rum for Tea family. The Rum for Tea family, in association with Andia's Weekend, they will be at Crazy Mondays HQ at Ian's Lawn in New Forest District in Manchester. This will be on Sunday, August 3rd, and you will also be entertained by the top Gregor, that's DJ Skibu. As I said, he's one of the most decorated DJs in South Central Jamaica and also across the island. And also, you're going to have the big bad Eagle Force, which will be there in full force. That's Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. Check it out, guys. It's going to be a great party. Also, we have the Chicken Back and Seafood Festival. We're still waiting on Mr. Nito to come on the show. He doesn't want to come on too early. He's working in the background. He has his regular job going on with Jamaica Customs, and he has to balance that with preparing for you for August 1st, 2025 at this will be at Tara's Seafood Restaurant and Lounge in Alligator Pond District in Manchester. Breakfast will be served at 8 a.m. and he said, bring your swimsuits because the river is only 5 minutes away, and also the sea meets the river, so you can have both when you go there. So it's a family event. You can bring the family. You will be entertained, and you have chicken back in all different size and styles. Also fish, seafood in all different size and style. So we were waiting for Mr. Peter Nita to come on and tell you exactly why he does this every year, this Chicken Back Festival. How did he come up with it? And what are you to expect on that day of August 1st, 2025 at Tara's Seafood Restaurant and Lounge in Alligator Pond? So big up to Mr. Peter Nita in association with Links Construction and Maintenance Company. And they are also sponsored by Black Brothers Construction, King's Chemicals, Market Fresh Produce, and Pump Up Liquor Store. On August 1st, 2025, Chicken Back and Seafood Festival will be something to be reckoned with. You got to be there. So let's move to Sir Billings and Top Rock Bar and Grill. So we have the great reset to have Mr. Billings come on and talk about his Top Rock again and the bar and grill and all the seafood that he offers off the beach. So if you don't need sand between your feet or your toes, you can come to an elegant place where you can sit down and enjoy some great seafood. He also has an auto parts store, and he does fabrication of a lot of stuff. He has an engineering unit, and he's doing very, very well. And he's going to come and talk about it, so you know where to go when you need certain parts. And if you need to have a great time, Top Rock Bar and Grill is one of those places. So he also has what you call Classic Sundays at Top Rock, and also he has what you call Cool Rock Fridays. You got to be there. So we're going to move on to A Night at the Roxbury. This is Swamp View Promotions in association with Bolo, and he presents his birthday celebration on July 25th, 2025. It's called A Night at the Roxbury, and it's at Gully Side Bar on Lane Road in New Forest District in Manchester, and that's adjacent to the Ian Lawn and Crazy Mondays HQ. So it's one of those venues that is extremely beautiful. There's a lot of parking. You're gonna have a lot of good food, and you have Three the Hard Way. That's DJ5, Uptown Movements, and DJ Kino. DJ Kino is one of those what you call it, vibes DJ, alongside DJ5 and the Uptown Movements. It's going to be Three the Hard Way's Party Unlimited for the summer. It's July 25th, 2025, guys. You can't miss it. So we're going to talk about the VVIP Club. The VVIP Club, all these people that I'm mentioning right now are a part of the VVIP Club, but that free membership is coming to a close. As you notice, I have not mentioned anyone who's in the VIP Club because their free membership has also ended. If you want to be a part of the VVIP Club or the VIP Club, you have to go to the Mystic Inn. And when you get to the Mystic Inn, you'll be told what you need to do to get into these clubs, these categories. So let's talk about the VVIP membership. The VVIP membership, once you spend a certain amount at the Mystic Inn, then you'll get in and you will have unlimited access to advertise your event. And you'll be entitled to coming on to the show and talking about it on multiple occasions. Also, the VIP club, you have a certain amount of events that you can advertise. So the VIP club, once you come to the Mystic Inn and you spend a certain amount, then it lasts for approximately 6 months, give or take. And the VIP club lasts for about 3 months. Now, the regular club, based on your spending limit at the Mystic Inn, will get you into a monthly kind of or weekly kind of affair where you can advertise for those months or weeks without any inhibition. So there's conditions to this, but you got to go to the Mystic Inn to find out. So if you know where the Mystic Inn is, then you know where to go. However, if you don't, it's in Sea District in Manchester, and this is what it looks like. So you can Google it. It's on Google Maps. You type the Mystic Inn into Google Maps, and you'll get your directions to the Mystic Inn. So if you want your events to be advertised or to be talked about, or you want to come on live on the show, go to the Mystic Inn and get the rules. Okay. Also, you got to remember that if you want to be on a show, you have until 6 p.m. on a Saturday to bring your information to the Mystic Inn so it can be talked about on the Saturday night show. You get what I'm saying? So 6 p.m. is a cutoff point on a Saturday. Therefore, if you want to be on that Saturday, then you got to get there by 6 p.m. Also, we let me put I was gonna put something up here, but let's leave that alone for right now because we've been on an hour and 7 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end the show tonight, and we want to say thank you for being on the show. DJ Latta will be here on Saturday. Yes. I've tried to work out the music issue because I knew there was something wrong, and I'm still gonna try to take you out with a Jamaican song, and hopefully it works this time because I think I worked out the problem. All right, so thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. We say God bless you all, and we really appreciate your you being on the show and watching the show. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. And we say, God bless you all. We don't control our lives, God does. So remember that every time. So we'll see you again, and hopefully tomorrow and Saturday and Monday. And we're still, we're going to tie the date down for Hot Gossip. And remember, we also have for Sir Father Dragon will be on the show, and Sir Father Dragon will be at the Mystic Inn to showcase his sound system very soon. So stay tuned to know the dates. All right. So we say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna try to take you out with a song, a couple of songs from Asher D's mixtape. We say big up to my nephew Asher D in England and all the Naram family. They will be on the shows very, very soon to give you our story of where Naram Promotion started. So we say, God bless you all, and let's see. Jamaican. Oh yeah. So here we go. Jamaican, blessings every time. Naram Promotions is at you. Good morning. Naram Promotions is at you.